Okay,
I heard it on this end, Elisa.
perfect.
All right, call the order the village board meeting at the Lisbon Village Hall on Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. I've got 6:34. Roll call, please.
President Gerke,
Here.
Trustee Moonen,
Here.
Trustee Baum.
Here.
We've got Trustee Quinn present on Zoom. We have DPW Director Willikowski,
Here.
Administrator Green,
Here.
and Clerk Capazzo.
All right, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, citizen comments are next. No citizens here wish to speak. Anyone?
No one's present on Zoom.
All right. Item 4 is the consent agenda. Anyone on the board here wish to pull anything off the consent agenda? If you were all good with everything there, is there a motion then? Make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries 3-4, I assume.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
yes. Sorry, I was on mute. I'll unmute myself.
All right. Item 5 is accounts payable. The authorized payment of the one-click bills dated May 28th, the amount of $2,134.66. Right. Mark made the motion to approve. Linda, do you second that motion?
You mean Paula?
Sorry, Paula.
Yes.
Paula? Okay.
I will second. Yes.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You're not an aye, are you? Oh. All right.
So,
We had
3-0.
3-0, one abstention. Item 5B is authorized payments of the remaining bills dated May 28th, an amount of $526,735.89, and June 5th for $57,511.31.
Top 5 expenditures for May 28th are City of Pewaukee for $187,179.67. U.S. Bank 4 in the amount of $157,718.40. Waukesha County Treasurer, $80,923.80. Village of Sussex for $43,380.30. Baker Tilly for $10,893.75. And bill top 3 for June 5th bills, $32,196.13 to Premier Building Inspections. Kunkel Engineering in the amount of $8,767.13, and Network Health for $7,220.
I'll make a motion to approve the remaining bills dated 5/28/65.
Motion by Rob.
I'll second.
All right, motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0. Item 5 is announcements and correspondence. Board of review hearing. We adjourned from last week, and we will be starting back up on Monday, June 15th starting at 5:30 at the Richard Young Fire Station. We will be having a special village board meeting on Wednesday, June 17th, here at 4:45. Public Works and Utility Committee meeting will meet thereafter at 5 o'clock. Also here, public hearings and Plan Commission for Wednesday, June 24th at 6:30 at the Richard Young Fire Station. That public hearing, Elisa, is that
Just a Plan Commission public hearing, not a joint public hearing.
For the 4th of July, on July 2nd and 3rd, all village departments are closed. Parks Committee meeting then on July 8th here at 5 o'clock at Village Hall, followed by our next month's Village Board meeting. Any other announcements, correspondence to note? All right, Dan, move on to your report.
Sure, I just have a few things.
Paula,
First,
can you hear him okay?
Yeah, just speak up a little bit, Dan, but I'm pretty good, yes.
a few things. First off, I wanted to announce, and I'll make this announcement at another board meeting as well, but staff will no longer be printing packets. We're going to try going virtual. Since everyone was assigned a laptop, including Plan Commission and Village Board, we want to start going paperless to save money and to save staff time. So we're going to look at doing that starting in September, and we will announce that again probably at the next couple of board meetings and Plan Commission meetings. The village did install security cameras facing both the 9/11 memorial and the back parking lot, and then DPW's cameras are in for the garbage area and the oil recycling area. They've been having issues down there. And finally, I was at an administrative committee at the Lake Country Municipal Court, sorry, where they appointed on Sunderhouse as the interim judge. So we will have a resolution coming up in the next board meeting to officially approve that. Each community has to approve those separately. So that will be at the July meeting for approval. And that
Uh-oh.
Anything to add at this point, or should we, any updates? And my main thing was on timing, but is there anything else really?
You guys locked up for a minute. I didn't hear what you just said, Matt.
Conceptual park plan option.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay.
I was starting to say that we did laser t-shirts that should be delivered in time for Community Fest.
Great. Yeah,
This is kind of no announcements and correspondence. Do you want to? Well, no, right? And there's no one to go back and watch this. Are we going to cut it up here that we didn't have on the list? You can, and you talked to Blake.
oh shit. Just drop me. I'm now the host. What? I don't know what the hell's going on.
Paula, can you hear us?
Yeah, I just got a message on my
Okay.
thing that said I'm now the host.
Yeah, it kicked us off for a second.
Okay.
We're running off the hotspot on my phone for
Okay.
internet, so it may happen.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I should have been there. I misunderstood what I was supposed to do, so that's my bad. I should be up there.
Oh, good.
Okay.
it's going to be contingent on the next item. So we can't start the formal engineering design until we get funds that were designated for it, which are coming out of tomorrow. So
Anything else we need to talk about? You want to new business? All right. Item 9A is discussion of necessary action regarding resolution 2026-04, authorizing the issuance and sale of $4,120,000 worth of general obligation promissory notes, series 2026A.
Close to camera.
sure.
Sure, that'd
All
be
right.
great.
Can you hear me okay, Paula?
Yes, can hear you.
All right, wonderful. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ariana Schmidt. Again, back to review the sale day results of general obligation notes. I think they all have the sale day report.
Yep.
Right? Okay, this was not in your packet because we just got the results today. So we compiled this to summarize that for you. Really great results. We had a true interest cost of 2.86% compared to our pre-sale estimate of about 1 whole percentage point higher than that. There was quite a range of bidders. We had 6 bidders, which is very good. Highest bid was just over 3.1%, means you have about 20 basis points of a swing, which just shows the benefit of going to competitive bid rather than negotiated with one dealer. So great outcome that we saw there. TD Financial Products was the winning bidder. You were able to downsize the amount of debt that was being issued by about $45,000 because they did this on what's called a premium bid. Basically meaning they give you more money than you ask for with a slightly lower interest rate, similar to when you go to a car dealership and you get cash back, same kind of concept. So all in all, principal amount is reduced to 4.075 million instead of the pre-sale number. In total, principal and interest over the life of the notes for the 5-year term is about $100,000 less than the pre-sale estimate due to all of these factors. So all in all, great sale results that we saw today. Moving forward, closing will occur on June 30th, which is when you will actually receive the funds. So I did attach some tables here. You have the full bid tabulation, which includes all bidders, high to low. And then we've got 4 tables, same financing tables that you saw at the pre-sale, just updated to the actual results from today. Additionally, I want to mention that your rating with Moody's was affirmed at AA2, which lends itself to the interest rates you saw today. That rating report is attached for reference as well. So anything you'd like me to go into more detail on, I'm happy to do so. Otherwise, I will pause for questions.
I had my most, the thing I was most interested in was the payment schedule. We talked about that before, and that's in here. Anyone? I haven't had enough time to really have any other question.
Afterwards, you can always reach out via email or phone. Happy to go through anything further with you.
Yeah, that was a great result to come back in under what we thought it was going to be. So thank you for your work on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but while before you tonight is the resolution, there is also a bid form that needs to be signed by both the underwriter, which has already occurred, and then both Dan and Matt. If you can sign that, I can take a copy with me tonight and get that back to the underwriter this evening. And that will kind of formalize your acceptance of the bid along with the resolution.
All right, so we're ready for a motion on the resolution.
And just one point, the resolution that's in your packet is for that estimated 4,120,000. The new resolution, which we unfortunately weren't able to print because of the power being out, will be for that 4,075,000. So once we can print it, we'll get that over, and then I believe that just has to be signed by.
Right.
Can we still call it the same resolution?
Yes.
All right.
So
I make a motion to approve resolution 2026-04. Include the new principal amount of 4,075,000. Even.
Is there a second the motion?
I will second.
All right, motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0. Next, move on to discussion of necessary action to authorize the DPW to purchase the grapple right.
Thank you. I'll take this from you.
So I'll try to make it as possible. We had for our front end loader, we had a set of pallet forks for it, and roughly purchased 14 years ago, and we use it for grinding at the compost site, and that's usually a lot of material brought in from residents at the compost site, and brush pickup and highway and park staff when we do tree cutting. And this spring, one of the tines broke on the forks, so we're looking at, instead of getting another set of replacing forks for forks, to actually get the proper attachment to do grinding. And as the pictures kind of will show you what forks look like, what a brush grapple is. The big thing why using a brush grapple versus a set of forks is, one, forks aren't really designed for picking up brush I guess the analogy I kind of use is if you take your hand into a clump of straws, take your hand or take your fingers, where you're gonna hit the most of. Take your hand, that's kind of like a grapple when you're grabbing branches, logs, debris. So getting a loader grapple for us would, one, it'd save us a lot of time grinding. With the forks, a lot of material falls off. You're not maximizing the efficiency, I guess, of trying to bring brush to the grinder. So make more of a mess. It does beat up the loader and the hydraulics and the tires specifically, with material dropping everywhere. With a grapple rake, great. Basically, whatever it grabs onto, it sticks with. So efficiency, time. I think we could save at least 4 to 5 hours a year grinding, which there's roughly $600 an hour. So the savings between that, breaking, usually hydraulic lines and all that, and the speed and renting equipment, I think will all add up to reduce our grinding costs. So, kind of what I had in there for you guys. Grapple rake.
So last month we talked about this at the Public Works meeting. The Public Works was unanimous to approve it, and Nick gave a little more in-depth presentation then. But I guess from our standpoint, next month, well, actually this next meeting next week, we're going to be reviewing some of the processes that we use for brush pickup as well as the compost site. So we're just going to be looking for some more efficiencies to come out of it. We've become more and more popular with our residents as far as placing brush out at the curb. So we want to make sure that that process matches up with the compost site. Since it is a shared operation, we want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence to reevaluate that program. Not necessarily looking to change anything, but just make it more efficient. So this was one of the ways that, unfortunately, we broke a piece of equipment, and Nick did a good job by not just replacing it, but bringing it forward and looking to make more efficiencies out of what they're doing up there. So I know it does cost probably. Did we even get a number back on?
Yep, that's
on the time though.
Oh, yeah.
If we replace just the time.
We couldn't really find the time per se. They were like, I think if we looked around and actually like went to places and measured out times, we could probably find an off-brand one that maybe could slide on, but that's taking the whole thing with us traveling around. And we looked around and called the major dealers around here and they had nothing. So
yeah, we figured at a max it would take a 10-year recoupment to pay off the product purchase. We need to replace it with something, otherwise we're not going to have any efficiency out of that loader at the grapple site. So
What is the cost for the grapple rake?
$25,000. That's what goes on the big.
Yep.
Big loader.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but I grew up partially on a farm, and using the piece of equipment meant for a job is really the way to do it. Because when you use a piece of equipment that's not meant for what you're doing, not a good idea. So I'm in favor of this for sure.
Yeah, we talked about even just something as simple as if Nick's crew get called in for trees on the roadway, we don't necessarily have the best piece of equipment right now to pick it up. So we do the job to clear the road, but then we have to go back and remove it by a different means. So we're double working the same project. We could likely just knock it out and move the tree to a location where it's safe for everyone.
Right, and we're not going to risk breaking a piece of equipment that's not meant to do that job, because that's the only thing we have to move something. So yeah,
or hurting somebody.
Yeah.
Nick, I thought I saw like a number in here was like just under 25,000, but on the back page we're at almost 26,000. What is the number that we're?
So that was that because of the requote?
The quote that's on the back there's 25,961. That's still all said and done price. 25. $1,961.
Yeah, I think the report, when he wrote the
Yeah,
report,
I
he didn't
think
have the final estimate,
Yeah.
so he had an estimate. But then the Public Works approved the amount, I believe it was not to exceed 26,000.
Correct.
Rick, this is, you've gone through
Yeah,
this more than one. You want-
Nick, I know we talked at the last Public Works, because that quote.
Yep,
price
that's
doesn't-
good. So I called him. He said it hasn't changed.
Just in case there's a little bit of change, we'll make sure it's at, we'll just keep with the spirit of what we did last meeting. So I'll make a motion to approve the gravel rake attachment at a cost not to exceed $26,000 as presented.
Right, Rob seconded. Is there any additional discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0. So the item C is to authorize the Department of Public Works to purchase of a replacement dump body on the 2005 Sterling patrol truck.
All right, and so for this, we have our 2005 Sterling. The box on the truck is the steel box. Well, it was a steel box, not actually a stainless steel box, but basically the floor is rotting out on it. As you can see in the pictures, the cross members are, you can take a hammer and you can bang them off basically. So they're not really doing its job per se, and it's actually starting to collapse on the frame rails to the chassis rails. So you can see there's like weaving in the metal and everything. And it's become to a point that we probably shouldn't be using it for any hauling of any sort, because it's actually starting to flex when you put a load of salt or anything in it. So we're looking to replace that with a steel dump body. One, kind of hands are tied for it because it doesn't need to go out this upcoming winter, and I don't feel comfortable with it going out this winter hauling salt. So it is something that needs to be taken care of. The reason why it wouldn't be something that we would put bid just to get the truck out of here for the next replacement is we do have more expensive trucks in the fleet that are more, I guess, budget busters. I guess they cost a lot for perhaps the internationals. I ran some numbers for the past few years, and the international have been costing us a ton of money to maintain due to just the emissions, electrical, and everything. And this truck doesn't really cost us a lot of money to run. It's a really good truck, even though it's older than 2012, 2013 International. But it's one of those things, I think, for the budget and the quality of the truck, I think it's something forward with, because this truck we can always put into as a spare in our fleet once we get to the next spare, and we can hold on to it for 8-10 years and kind of recoup a little of that money instead of putting a box on it, out the door it goes in 5. So that's kind of what I have for you guys without going into crazy too much detail on the truck.
We also talked about this one at length too. We posed a few different scenarios to Nick. One of that was being cut our losses at this point, send it out the door for auction. And we actually feel that by investing the 24,000 and change into it, we would actually see a better return on value, even with holding it back from replacing it, because it was originally set to be replaced after next year.
Yeah, technically it would have been next year.
So we're hoping we can hold it longer, which, as we all know, the equipment prices have been going through the roof. So we think it's the best fiscally responsible thing to do is to rehab the box and then replace the box and then put the truck back into service as a spare tube.
Yeah, but
Mark, how long do we think that if we do that, how long do we think that truck will last us?
Well, we talked about that too. I wish we knew what the answer is, but we do know that if we don't replace it, we won't be hauling anything with it this year because it's just going to be unsafe, and it'll essentially be a truck body that we don't even need to keep, so we could just put it out the door, and we don't think we're going to get anything for it. Nick's confident that these are going to last a while. Obviously, we can't predict the future, but it's not going to be replaced on schedule. We're going to hold it back, so we'll likely see some better return on it. I mean,
Okay.
to make up 24,000 is not going to take long with current truck prices.
Mhm. And did I hear Nick correctly say that if we do this, this would be kind of like a standby truck?
Yeah, once probably within 4 years. It depends on
Okay.
for truck building and all that, but it probably wouldn't become a spare for another 4 to 6 years, I would say. And if not, it runs Merton routes, so it's a Merton truck that we run out there. So it gets used in summer all the time. So be another good truck to use for summer.
Well, I know you're good on the maintenance of these things, and I feel good about that part of it. So thanks.
Yep.
So we had an older quote, so we asked Nick to rebid it. I noticed they dropped off the credit card fee.
Right.
What are we getting back from our credit card purchases? We're getting the percentage back.
Yeah.
We are, I don't know what that is though.
It's not 3%. It's not more than 3%.
No, but but we're also paying our garbage bills with it, so we're getting.
No. I mean, but I think the point. That,
Oh, yeah,
We're not
we're not paying for it.
I'm not poo-pooing that. That's great from the way we're doing it, and I think that's an all-star move that we're doing. I mean, so like, all right, but you're making the motion for the amount of the current bid without the credit card fee.
correct. I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the Duraclass SL 316 steel dump body for cost not to exceed $23,920.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Rob beat you to it.
I'll get him next time, not to worry.
Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0. And the last item is discussion and necessary action on ordinance 2026-07 to inhibit parking along both sides of Oakwood Road.
So I actually want to recommend that we table this item to the next meeting. I did talk to Paul a little bit, and if we do this, the residents that live there will also not be able to park along Oakwood.
Right.
And I don't know that we've formally notified them, and I don't know if that's something that we might want to consider doing beforehand.
So this request is coming on some of them, but not everyone, obviously.
Not everyone, and I want to make sure that the people that are requesting this understand the fact that if we restrict parking there, that applies to them too, not just for sports events. And if that is the case, then we may want to consider either limiting it to one side of the road or only limiting it to sporting events or something like that. So I don't know. It's up
or
to
the
you
portion
guys.
of the road closest to the fields where that would.
You could do, a sign, no parking from this spot to a certain length. But it was a Public Works recommendation, so I don't know if
Well,
I'd let Mark.
It was also a recommendation from the residents there, but I don't think they really thought through what they were asking for in some ways. So I did talk to Dan about this, so I think we should discuss it a bit deeper. Mark, what is your thought, just being in?
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with Dan that is a good call that we didn't debate too long because it wasn't part of the request originally. The request was they were just concerned that with the installation of the new baseball field that it would be a shorter walk to park on Oakwood and then just go into the park from the road rather than going in on Parkway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the request came from. I had two people reach out to me regarding this, and it wasn't a discussion of ours to talk other than just doing everything. So I would agree with a table would be prudent.
So before we table, is that there hasn't been like this is preemptive. There hasn't been an actual problem yet. Or has there been?
There has been some parking going on at baseball games. That's kind of what sparked the initial contact with Village Hall, and then Mark obviously got calls on it too. So it's been happening.
And we're years back, effectively 2 seasons away from having a larger parking lot right over there.
Right.
Correct.
I just
Um,
think that there's some unintended consequences that might come up that we need to just make sure that we cover our bases with.
Maybe just ask everybody on that road if they're good or not for it.
That's the thing. But if you get 20% that say they want parking and 80%, I mean,
Yeah. Well, and like Paula said, if somebody has a party at their house, that they might not be aware that they can't park there, or they might not know that that's related to them too, that they maybe think that we're only saying for sporting events. So
Is there
I don't want to tie it.
no parking during?
Can we do a
sporting
conditional thing?
There is a way to do that. Yeah, we could look at something like that.
So there's a condition, we can do some conditional rules there.
I would recommend against the conditional parking just because it's a nightmare. If a ticket is issued, then there's a lot of proof that the village would have to put on itself.
Yeah, but we could make it for one side of the road or for a portion of the road that's adjacent to, that would prohibit or discourage people from parking along that
Right, so-
stretch.
So make where they would park to make it convenient to walk to the ball field would be far enough away where just parking on Bartlett would make sense instead of parking on the road.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, one of the problems that may come is Oakwood Court is adjacent to that area, so we might be forcing parking onto the court, which would probably be more of a impact to people than rather than parking on Oakwood where there's only houses on one side. So
doesn't that get too far away though?
Oakwood Court's almost
No, it's like right
directly across from
with
the
it.
Yeah.
So
Do we want to table or do we want to send this back to the?
why don't we? I would actually remand it back to Public Works. That'll give us and don't put it on June either.
Okay.
I just want to get the research back in time. So
No.
I'll make a motion to send ordinance 2026-07 back to Public Works for reconsideration.
Second.
I'd second that. I'm agreeing with that. Yeah.
Rob beat you to it. Again.
Get delayed.
Rob,
All right, so that's not a table motion, so it is a debatable item. Is there any additional discussion? And you're comfortable with the motion that
No, that makes sense.
that
Is there
we're looking at the July.
Matt, would there be public input for that then, or at some point?
Yeah, that's why I allowed it back that way.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Yep. Okay. Thanks, Mark.
And if we send out, if you send something, then don't
think
ask
we know
for feedback. Just say, hey, come to the July.
I think we know almost everybody in that neighborhood, so we can probably make a few calls and make sure that it is notified.
At this point, we're not looking until August.
Yeah,
Back to the village board.
Right.
It'll be a full season to see what that really shakes out to be. So I think that might actually be helpful.
And then again, things change, next October when the parking lot opens up. So,
Agreed.
all right, any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. I've got 7:08.
Wonderful. Thank you, Paula.
All right. Yeah. Thanks very much. Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right, have a good one.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.